I said, just to let you know, like, so single mothers been happening. See, what we tend to forget in 2017, we tend to forget history. We don't go back in history. We don't try to find out, especially as Black Americans. When I listen to a lot of people that's highly intelligent in the conscious community and things of that nature, when they explaining about the history of this, the history of that, they don't. There's no connections. They don't connect nothing. I'm connecting the dots, as you can see from when Black people were in the United States, coming out of slavery. The president said himself. He said it himself in 1964. How can you take a man out of chains and then liberate him to go against people that were never in bondage? It's going to be hard for them to do. And I don't agree with what he said because, number one, I believe that you can do so if you would properly teach that man that was in chains and their family and their family and their family, but it's designed to keep us down, to keep us down. The destroyers to keep us down, to keep the black minority, Black Americans down from excelling, in life. And we excel. Yeah, we had a black president. We had a black mayors. We excel a lot through sports. Probably the entertainment industry and things of that nature. My thing is that this is how this is how you get single mothers and Black feminist activists and and single mothers. This is why Black single mothers can find a good man. It's just in the gene pool, in the gene line, that this is what it is because of what their mother told them and their mother told them, their mother told them. You have mothers that was out there like, don't. It started even in the slave plantation. Like, mothers wanted their daughters to sleep with the master so they would not be in the field picking cotton. They would be in the house washing dishes, cleaner, and doing better. Don't you know slave mothers used to prep their daughters up to sleep with the master so they can so they won't be out there in the fields? And hey, if you in slavery, that's a step up. You gonna look at everybody. I ain't in the damn fields like y'all. Shit, I'm not gonna fight for y'all. I'm going up in here. It's been it always was happening for years. It always been like mothers there to raise the children, while fathers probably was out working or doing things like that. And as far as like the low come, working in factory, the migration after slavery, then the migration started where segregation actually started after like really being slaves. So now you got blacks working in the factories with whites, and you got it was a split between whites and blacks mingling in the factories because white people, even though y'all free, we still don't want to mingle with y'all. They did it with white people did it with the Indians too. They ain't sleep with none of the Indians like that. They ain't want their race mixing with other races. So you have to understand that single mothers always been an issue within for years. Because the Black African American male was always at war, always going to jail, getting hanged. Especially 1984 when the crack epidemic started. A lot of people was up north. I spoke to a lot of Black Americans, old school, that was up north. They was like, I was up north for the whole 80s, damn near the whole 90s. They just started coming out in 2000. So they don't really, it was single mothers going crazy rapid for a long time. Even broken homes created, single mothers created young children that start getting pregnant and stuff like that. So it's a lot that happened within those times. And not even that's not even part of it. There's a lot more things that happen as far as like, breaking up the marriage, breaking up the homes, women being independent. That slipped in there, the rocks. A lot of things took place. You will see a white family today, even though a lot of white people in white families get divorced, it does affect the child, but not as much as I really believe as like a Black American child whose mother and father isn't married, and next thing you know, the mother is with somebody else, and the child got to watch him grow up as a single mother sleeping with another guy and their father, and children just starting to understand, well, mommy and daddy's not together, and They're not together, and they don't even know why it's actually happened. They never know why was actually happening. They start finding out these things later, and it's very fucking sad, you know, that you would have to explain to your child the reason why I couldn't be with your mother or your father is because of such and such, and me and him couldn't see eye to eye, and he's over there and you over there, and the child got to grow, you know, in a single mother's home, you know. So there's a lot of things that place. I really also the icing on the cake was the crack epidemic, 1984 to 1990. I think that's when single mothers really skyrocketed. That's when like crack just fucked up everything. The Vietnam War was another icing on the cake. A lot of black African Americans were drafted. They didn't choose to go to this war. They had to go to this war. Muhammad Ali was locked up for 5 years for not fighting in the Vietnam War. He was locked up for 5 years for not fighting in the Vietnam War. Black men couldn't turn it down. They had to go and leave their single mothers at home. And this is where we get welfare was being implemented. See, in order to implement something, sometimes it takes time to do things. Things don't happen right away. It takes years to really get. If you really want to degrade a population or bring a population down, that takes time of plotting, thinking, and ways of doing it. This way was effective. However, I got something better. This way is effective, but I got something better. Instead of killing them all and sending them out to kill them all, let's do it here. And let's put this out here. And we could, it's so many ways it was effectively utilized to destroy the black family, you know, and it bounced. So this way you can't catch the connection. Because it's always a connection. You won't be able to catch. You won't be able to be like, oh, well, families was together in the 90s. No, they wasn't. Black men were getting hung. And in the slave plantations, you have the mandingos. You have one slave person that was fucking healthy, sleeping with all the slave women, having children. You had children that was getting split up from their families to other slave plantations. This single mothers was going on for centuries, years. You know, when you look at the facts and you put this together, 1965, welfare, 1960s, 50s, Korean War, and that's all in the same bracket. It wasn't like years on. All this shit started, and there was a reason why all this stuff started. You know, you had to keep them down. They coming out of the chains now. We can't slave them now. We had to get them mentally. And that's what happened, you know. So, you know, when you do, I'm about facts and connecting the dots. I don't like to just say things. You know, I've read you the information. You could go back on it. Like my channel, like it, you know, press the like button. But this is all knowledge, you know. And I'm telling you this right now, that single mothers was happening for centuries. White men was running up in the slave plantation, sleeping with the black women. Fathers was always sent out to fight a war. This kept going. This ain't just recently happened. The crack epidemic was really the Vietnam War and the crack epidemic was the fucking icing on the cake. Especially when any black Americans that survived the war, 1973, when they started coming back to the United States, they already had diseases for sleeping with Korean women over in the Vietnam War because they couldn't come over here and sleep with their family. They had to sleep with females over there, coming back with their diseases, bringing it back over here versus the cocaine, the drugs. And then when the crack epidemic came, woo! You know, so anything, these is all facts. And this is where you get single mothers, and it's been happening for centuries. Tanya, and I'm out. Do the facts and like if you understand what I'm talking about.